mo kí gbogbo ọmọ kóòtù òjèrè jákèjádò àgbáláyé mo kẹ́yìn olólùfẹ́ mi ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa mo fẹ́ sáré gbé yín lọ ìlú àbújá ni o níbi tí protest free Nnamdi Kanu tó ti ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ eléyìí tí brọ́dà wa Ọmọyẹlé Sowore eléyìí tí ó organize nílùú àbújá ń bẹ̀ yẹn ẹ̀yin ènìyàn mi ó ti diṣu atayanyan o ó ti di pé bó lọ yá mi àwọn ọlọ́pàá wọn kojú ìjà sí wọn wọ́n àtáàkì wọn wọ́n lé gbogbo wọn léré ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi Ọmọyẹlé Sowore sọ̀rọ̀ o ó sọ gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ pátápátá níbi tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe protest yìí ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi mo fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ farabalẹ̀ o ẹ jájọ gbọ́ ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nílùú àbújá lónìí láti ẹnu Ọmọyẹlé Sowore pẹ̀lú interview tí wọ́n ṣe fún wọn ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ẹ farabalẹ̀ dáadáa ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ wo fídíò yìí.
Let's head over to the nation's capital, Abuja, where the Free Nnamdi Kanu protests is holding. We have images now from Abuja. You can see the presidential candidate and publisher of Sahara Reporters, Mr. Moyele Sowore, protesting with some people earlier today, this morning actually. And you can see the heavy security presence right there in the nation's capital, Abuja. Then you'll see just in a few seconds there'll be shots in the air. I understand tear gas was fired as well, and it made some of the protesters scamper to safety. So these are images from moments ago coming from the nation's capital, Abuja, where that protest held. And we'll just allow you listen in, and we'll continue the conversation. Abuja, but we're joined right now by Mr. Moyele Sowore, whom you saw in that video. Good morning, Mr. Sowore. Can you walk us through where did that happen and what exactly played out there?
Well, we were starting the protest at in front of the Transcorp Hotel, and this huge contingent of police came, army, civil defense, and we started telling them that we're not their enemies. It's not about them. And suddenly from nowhere, they started shooting at us, tear gas. There were some live bullets fired. But luckily enough, I don't think anybody was hit with a live bullet, but they were just shooting all around us. Eventually, they did arrest some people. I heard Nnamdi Kanu's younger brother was arrested and beaten. And his lawyer Jimoko, was also arrested and beaten. They've all taken them to the FCT command right now.
Can you walk us through what exactly was did you have a conversation? Did they approach you and say, well, you cannot protest here?
I was talking to them. They didn't particularly have any leadership. There were about 10 trucks, some of them gun trucks, that arrived at the same time as soon as we started the protest and people were coming around. So there was no provocation on our part. Like we had promised, was an orderly protest. It was peaceful, but it was an unprovoked attack from the police force and, I would say, combined team of security people in the city.
So the build-up to this moment is something I want you to speak to. We'll come back to what played out today. The Honorable Justice M.G. Umar had ordered, given some orders saying the respondents are hereby restrained in the interim from protesting in the following areas: Aso Rock Villa or anywhere close to the villa, the National Assembly, Force Headquarters, Court of Appeal, Eagle Square, and Shehu Shagari Way, pending the hearing of the motion. And then some other orders were given. The police had said, well, We don't think this should hold. NSCDC also said we don't think this should hold in these areas. But you said you held this particular one close to Transcorp, which I don't think is in that order. What did you expect from security operatives? Were they meant to give you protection or sort of ensure that the protest is lawful or at least doesn't break the peace? What was your expectation from the security operatives?
Well, not only did we plan this as a peaceful protest, we actually had the lawyer inform them, even though it is our constitutional right not to inform the police, not to take permission from the police to protest. But we did inform them officially so that they can provide protection to the protesters, because they always claim that protest is hijacked by hoodlums or whomever it is. But you can now see who the hoodlums were today. The security agencies that government that otherwise should have done a job of protecting the protesters.
Mr. Sowore, we heard the gunshots not so long ago, and that was quite scary. Please confirm to us that all the protesters in your team are safe before I proceed with my next question.
Well, we haven't seen them yet. We had to leave the scene and move to a safer location. But I've just reported to you that some protesters were arrested. Some of them bystanders forced into a police vehicle, many police vehicles, beaten right there on the scene and then driven to the first police headquarters. The FCT police headquarters in Abuja. So we haven't been able to confirm if everybody's safe at this point.
Also, lawyer Jimakot, the lawyer to Nnamdi Kanu that you mentioned earlier, and his brother were on your protest team.
Yes, they were part of the people with me, yes.
All right. Some other protesters, we've seen them last week against your protest. I'd like you to speak to that because they were brandishing pictures of, people from the southeast who had died as a result of the sit at home and the violence, the phenomenon of unknown gunmen, and had said, look, Nnamdi Kanu is not a man that should be released by the federal government. I'd like you to speak to that.
The fact that people have the right to say what they want to say is not something I'm against. But other people who feel differently also have the right to express their position. So what we have told the federal government or those prosecuting Nnamdi Kanu is that in 4 years, if he killed anybody, if he molested anybody, how is it that they don't make it to the courtroom? He's been in detention since 2021. Why can't you present this evidence to the judge? Nobody did that. Everybody's just making up stories here and there, and nobody's talking about the 28 people that were killed in his father's compound. Nobody's talking about, all the villages that have been burned down by the Nigerian army because they claim that IPOB is an illegal organization. Nobody's talking about the rights of all the people that are clamped into detention, several of them in a place they call Wawa Barracks. So are those people not human beings as well? You go and provoke people who are peacefully asking for a different country, who are asking for self-determination because they asked for a referendum. And then you start blaming them for further violence that you visited upon them. And you want to be blackballing and blackmailing everybody with it. But you had the right to present your own case. Give other people who feel differently, who are now in the majority, a chance to also present their own view about the trial. We see a sham trial here, and you're talking about people who went and printed some pictures, and nobody's talking about what the federal government has done in terms of the killings in the Southeast, the violation of human rights, the violation of the dignity of members of an organization that is merely calling for self-determination. It's not a crime. So I'm not here to debate that. We are here to debate fair and just trial of a person who's been in detention for over, it's been in and out of detention for over 10 years. You haven't been able to put any of this evidence in court. No one has ever convicted him of one. I was even charged at the point with Nnamdi Kanu that Nnamdi Kanu and I killed policemen in the Southeast. I've never been to the Southeast with Nnamdi Kanu before. So you should know where all of this propaganda is coming from.
But Mr. Sowore, can we discountenance the fact that in the last couple of years, the police in the Southeast have arrested criminals, some of whom, have been caught to have identified with IPOB. Hence that concern that there's a criminal element in the agitation for self-determination in the Southeast.
Listen, the police told you they arrested somebody who is a criminal, who's a member of IPOB. This same policeman did not present to you the ID card they got from the guy who says it's IPOB. You can just go and arrest somebody who is a criminal, claim he's IPOB, and then you take him to a special detention center in Wawa Barracks, and you have not been able to try him. I know of a couple, husband and wife, that were tagged IPOB. They have been in Wawa Barracks for almost 3 years. Their children have scattered. Their home has been, given away, and people thought they have died. These are things that the policemen in our country are doing. That's what the DSS has been doing. And you give a veneer of credibility to it by calling them criminals you don't even know. You can't believe what the police is telling you. You can't take it on the face value that the police is not lying, because they do it to me. They arrest me for crimes I never knew anything about. I told you just now that in 2020, the Nigerian government went and charged me with Nnamdi Kanu for killing policemen in the Southeast. Never been to the Southeast with Nnamdi Kanu, although the trial was never conducted. There was no arraignment. But that was what they made up. They make up all kinds of stories because they are victimizing an entire region in the country. They are tarring them as bad people, and that is what led to the civil war in the first place. So it looks to me that Nigerian state has not concluded the civil war. They have just, turned the civil war from an active stage to a cold war. So, and to come on TV and start repeating things that nobody has ever verified is not what I'm here to debate with you. What I'm telling you is that you have a trial. You have all this evidence of killings by the person you're trying. Take it to court. Present it to the world. But you cannot tell me that in 4 years, since 2021, that Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped and brought to Nigeria from Kenya. You haven't been able to present such an evidence of grievous offenses against him.
Right.
Just go there and ask for adjournment after spending 500 million naira from the DSS security budget every court session.
Well, Mr. Sowore, so I want us to speak to the court process because it's also important. And you have been in court time and again, so either defend yourself sometimes to even seek some sort of reparation. So there's a court process ongoing now, the Federal High Court. And just some days ago, the NMA gave some sort of testimony saying he's fit to stand trial. And the trial judge, in fact, adjourned till October the 23rd, said that, he, being the defendant, has from the 23rd to the 30th to present the case and all of that. In fact, even granted his counsel permission to have a meeting with him outside of a DSS facility. I think that will happen on the 22nd, if I'm correct, between 9 a.m. and 12 noon. The point here is there's a court process ongoing, and he's going to also have his side heard from the 23rd up until the 30th. So why not allow the court process take its course? As I said earlier on, you've also been in court. In fact, you've commended some of the court orders that favored you, some of them regarding this process. So why not allow that court process go through?
There was a court process that started in 2021 after Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinary rendition from Kenya. The court process started from the Federal High Court as well. It went to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal determined, are you listening to me, that Nnamdi Kanu did not commit any offense, discharged and acquitted him in 2022. This is public knowledge. How come nobody respects that court order? Was he ever released for 1 day, even after the Court of Appeal took that decision? Never. The Supreme Court, this case went to the Supreme Court, determined that he did not violate his bail condition. Was his bail ever reinstated because of that? Never. So you cannot tell me about court processes because I know that these court processes have been violated repeatedly by the Nigerian government. You cannot be holding somebody, take him to court, stand in front of the courtroom, determine who the judge is, determine who is in the gallery, determine even sometimes who the lawyers are who are allowed to enter the premises of the court, even to do their own job, and you tell me that's fair and just trial? No. Everybody knows this is a sham. And that's what we are reiterating. And people who know better, people like Femi Falana and others have said this doesn't belong in the courtroom because these are just theatrics meant to prolong the punishment of an individual whose only crime is asking for self-determination. The only crime Nnamdi Kanu committed is none of those things you have heard or spoken about. Is that he said, let my people go. Because Nigeria no longer favors us. It doesn't protect our dignity. It doesn't see us as human beings. We've lost 6 million people to this Nigerian project, and we don't want to continue. That's his crime. Let us all admit that's a crime. It is the same way Mandela was accused of treason. But his crime was that he wanted to end apartheid. So the problem with us is that we are still debating the fact that we have apartheid in this country, that some people are treated differently from others. And then we start cherry picking, oh, he committed a crime, he stepped on somebody's toes. You know, what crime did Kensarua commit in this country? Was it not because he was asking for environmental protection? Didn't they kill him? What crime did Abiola commit in this country? Was it not that he won an election that they didn't want him to become president? Didn't they kill him? Was it not the same arguments that were given during their time? Oh, Abiola's case is in court. Let it go through the court. But we knew it was not supposed to have been taken to court. And
Right.
you know, so in this country we seem to forget history, and that's why we keep making these mistakes over and over again.
But Mr.
We cannot
Sowore,
be honest enough to say to ourselves, look, this is unjust, this is unfair, and then we start just debating the frivolities around the case that we know is not going anywhere.
Well,
There's
it's
on
important.
at the Federal High Court.
Right.
What you see there is persecution.
Well, it's
Call it
important
what
to
it is.
understand the rationale behind your move. So these questions will naturally be put to you so that we can bring in all of a side and understand what it is that is fueling this. But I want to ask you about those who have said, wait, October the 20th is known for NSAS. So are you trying to steal the October 20th NSAS thunder? I'm sure you've seen those comments that have been targeted at you, and people have said, well, choose any other day, but not October the 20th. Why is October the 20th the day for you, bearing in mind that a lot of people know it for the NSAS?
I was one of the people who declared NSAS. I was the first to take NSAS to the police headquarters, and I have participated in every NSAS anniversary since NSAS ended. So nobody can tell me about NSAS. But NSAS was about justice. This is also about justice. I am just multitasking on the side of justice. So NSAS still stays. The remembrance stays. We used to do remembrance for NSAS in Lagos. Anybody can do it. We are still going to do it even after this is done today. So there's nothing here. There's nothing to debate about NSAS and Nnamdi Kanu now. It is a day that is sacrosanct for us, but what is most sacrosanct for all of us is social justice.
And so, Mr. Sowore, some group, has spoken up and has condemned this protest that you're leading, and wondering why you're not allowing the process, of justice to take its course. They say that. And they're an Igbo group, by the way, in the diaspora. And they say that you're using this to seek political relevance, as you have done with other protests, that Nnamdi Kanu must stand for his crimes. What do you say to this?
Anybody's at liberty to say what they want to say. I mentioned earlier to you that Nelson Mandela was in prison for how many years? 27 years. At the point, he was regarded as a terrorist. In fact, it wasn't until he became a president that the U.S. lifted his terrorism tag and gave him a visa. So everybody who wants to say what they want to say can say what they want to say. This is not, if I'm looking for political relevance, I will not be risking my life. I've been shot at this morning already. So that's, but people say all kinds of things, and the people you call Igbo group, there may not be any group at all. The federal government has all kinds of groups that they put in place to do propaganda for them. They go and ask them to wear attires of ethnic groups to make it look as if they are speaking for them. But even if they are Igbo groups, I have no problem with this. It's their liberty to freely express themselves. My position is that this sham trial, must end now, so that we can this country can start to, do what I call national healing and stop the persecution of people of the Southeast. The war has ended in 1970. We should discontinue the war. And that is my position. We cannot be lying to ourselves that Nnamdi Kanu is being tried when he's not facing any trial. They're just persecuting him. And they're using the courts, and this is shameful, they're using the court to create a veneer of trial that we know is not happening. They've made up their minds, told me personally, that they want the judge to jail him first, and then they can consider amnesty or a pardon or whatever your clemency. That is what they are trying to do. They've done it. This is not the first time Nigeria has happened to innocent people. It happens to me almost on a daily basis. So it happened to Obafemi Awolowo. He was jailed for treason. They determined that they would jail him. They jailed him. But in history, everybody know that he was innocent. So I'm very sure that in a few days or hours, we will find out that this is a disgraceful chapter of our country's history. It's just sad that we don't have people who are honest enough, who are willing and, principled enough to take principled positions in the majority. That's the problem we have.
Some visuals of you now as you were scampering to safety earlier on, and that's why you said you had been shot at today.
Yes.
And the situation in the nation's capital, in some parts, we understand police have barricaded all the roads leading to the Federal Secretariat and the 3am zone in Abuja. We also hear that all access roads to the Unity Fountain, which is the takeoff point of protests, had been blocked. Security operatives are denying access to motorists and pedestrians. Fully armed security operatives are also on patrol. I have two questions for you. It's like a double-edged question. And I mean, those are the images coming through live. The barricade by security operatives. So whether you're on foot or you're driving, you are not granted access. Are you still going out today to continue that protest, or you're stepping back?
Yes, we are going to continue the protest, yes.
Okay. Secondly, seeing what is playing out right now, coming off all of the rumors around the planned coup, some arrests, of course, the military authorities had said no, the arrest was not related to that. It would seem that there's a lot right now on this government's plate, from optics to interpretation of what is playing out by Nigeria, or by Nigerians rather. What do you make of all of this that this government has to deal with, and how do you expect it to carry itself?
If there are rumors that there was a coup and the federal government said there's no coup, who do you believe? Well, we know that something happened, and they have admitted that much, because you don't just, you saw their ridiculous position that the soldiers, 16 of them that were arrested because they repeatedly failed promotion exams. I've never heard anybody who was arrested for failing promotion exams. But that's how those issues are couched. It is not my job. I wasn't the one who was selected to be in power. They are the ones who say they want to govern Nigeria. If they are misgoverning Nigeria, Nigerians are complaining, and they refuse to carry themselves in a way that respects the rights of Nigerian people like they're doing to us today, I can tell you that they have more coming their way. I'm not the only person who is unhappy with them. A lot of people are unhappy. Nigerians are unhappy with the government. But, normally, if it was a legitimate government, when people are unhappy, you reach them halfway, you talk to them, you respect their rights, you explain what is going on. You don't shoot at them. But that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And you don't jail people, and you don't do sham trials if you want to become, if you want people to believe that you have a lot on your plates. But apparently, they don't have a lot on their plates, because they're all about, self-protection and self-preservation.
Mr. Sowore, the military in the last couple of years has had to dispel rumors of a coup. This is not the first time, although this last time it was your medium, Sahara Reporters, that reported it. Can you give us a sense of what you think is playing out? Is it something that we should discount, and since the military has dispelled it, or does it give us a sense of what is particularly playing out, perhaps in the thinking of the, top ranks of the military?
There's no way I can speak for the military, but what I can say is to speak for myself that I don't support military rule. It doesn't matter how it is couched. It doesn't matter how nice it comes. I do not want the military to come back to power in Nigeria. That's a position I took a long time ago when we were fighting the military, because I know the military guys, they are not better than the civilians. And I still feel like, elections, if they are credible, are better than, military rule. So, and the military rulers who are going to take over power are going to also want to organize election. This time around, maybe want to be the ones contesting unopposed. So I'm not the one who wrote the story. I don't write for Sowore reporters anymore. And I always tell this to journalists that, the individuals who found or who established these media companies not necessarily know what is happening in those media companies. I'm sure the founder of your company probably don't know that you're talking to me. Maybe he does, Bola Tinubu himself, who is president of Nigeria today, has several media companies. You don't ask him, how did you, what was the last time he wrote for The Nation or TVC, all those radio stations that are owned by him across Nigeria. But what I can say is that I trust that the platform is credible, and I will believe Sowore reporters more than I believe Nigerian military.
Mr. Sowore, we have to thank you for your time. We understand that you're in a safe space now, but you've said you're going out again today to continue the protest.
Yeah.
You've also told us
the solution is to release Nnamdi Kanu, not to shoot at me. It won't stop the agitation.
Right. Are you sure who shot? Was it the police, the army, NSCDC?
It was the people that started shooting were policemen. I saw them. I was chatting them to not provoke us, and then they opened fire. Yeah.
All right. Did they shoot in the air?
We've seen soldiers.
Was it a shot in the air, or was it targeted at anybody? Was it in the air?
I know they shot at us, but I don't think anybody was injured there. But definitely they shot tear gas canisters directly at us.
And they've not released Mr. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Lawyer Jimako, or his brother?
Not since I got on this phone call with you, but I'll find out and let you know.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Sowore, presidential candidate of AAC, also the publisher of Sowore Reporters. Thank you for your time. I wish you the very best. But we're staying in the nation's capital for the next conversation. There's a lot happening in Abuja right now, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
What do we want? What are we saying? We can't hear you. Tinubu. Tinubu. Ole. Ole. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? Come and join us. Come and join us. Freedom is for me and you. Come and join us. Come and join us. Come and join us. Freedom is for me and you. Come and join us.
Free Nnamdi Kanu now.
Free Nnamdi Kanu now.
Free Nnamdi Kanu now.
Free Nnamdi Kanu now.
Join us. Come and free Nnamdi Kanu now. Join us. Join us.
Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What are we saying? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What do we want? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. When? Now. When? Now. When? Now. When? Now. When? Now. What are we asking? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What do we want? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What are we saying? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What do we want? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What are we saying? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Tinubu. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Ole. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Tinubu. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Bravo. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Tinubu. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What are we saying? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What do we want? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What are we demanding? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. How do we want it? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. When do we want it? When do we want it? When do we want it? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. 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 What are we saying? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What do we want? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What are we saying? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What do we want? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What do we want? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What are we asking? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. What are we demanding? Free Nnamdi Kanu now. We cannot hear you. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. We are not hearing you. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. 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 Tinubu. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Tinubu. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Ole. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Bravo. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. 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 Don't tear gas us. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Don't tear gas us. Don't tear gas us. Do not tear gas us. You are right to protest. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now.
Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Tear gas cannot stop us. Tear gas cannot stop us. Tear gas cannot stop us.
Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Sit. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Let's go to Beggar. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. Free Nnamdi Kanu now.
Tear gas or what?
Like it's tear gas.
Tear gas.
They throw tear gas?
Yes.
Why?
Wetin you dey wait for? If you never subscribe to Arole Baba 1010 Media and TV, you dey miss street gist.